Okay, we are now going live on YouTube. Welcome everybody to Epic Sketch Time. Epic Sketch Time is an online drawing group that has been around for, according to Roger, 5 years. Awesome. Oh, sorry. And I was hearing my voice echoing in my head from introduction. So we meet every Tuesday right now. Keep a look on our Facebook page, Epic Sketch Time, for a change of meeting times. But right now we're meeting Tuesdays Pacific time at 4:30. And again, my name is Mark Monlutz. I'm a freelance illustrator in Tacoma, Washington. And just like in weeks past, this week I'm going to be working on coloring my Tacoma Artist Initiative project while we kibitz. Roger, you're up next.
Hi there, this is Roger Crown in Spokane, Washington. I'm not sure what I'll be working on, probably more animation. Thanks.
And Katie, you're next.
Hi, this is Katie, and I am a artist from Bonnie Lake, Washington, and today I'm going to be working on a Halloween picture of my two dogs, Gracie and Trinta.
Bill, you're next.
I am Bill Morse. I'm a cartoonist and illustrator working in Seattle, Washington, and today I am going to be working on my Sunday Halloween comic strip.
Will you be working on that in Procreate, or are you going to be working in, is it Manga Studio?
This one's in Procreate.
In Procreate. What's the other app you use?
Clip Studio Paint, the application formerly known as Manga Studio.
I have that software. I just haven't really had time to learn it yet. I'm just getting acclimated to Procreate.
Yeah, if you have Photoshop experience, the learning curve is pretty reasonable.
Clip Studio Paint is absolutely fantastic at drawing straight lines, incorporating text, working with text bubbles. It's sort of like a combination of Illustrator and Photoshop together, and it is set up to emulate the various types of dot tone screens that's featured strongly in manga. And Bill, have you used much of those features?
The dot tones, yes, I started using it for most of my shading on the comic strip. And yes, I do use a lot of the vector tools that you mentioned for my backgrounds because they're easier to edit. And the text tools are indeed good, though they can be a little frustrating because as good as they are, they don't have some of the automatic stuff that the Adobe suite has, like spell checks. But that I'm going to go ahead and activate so that since you and I are working on our tablets, we can go ahead and screen share if we want. Okay.
It's great that Katie and Roger have got their cameras aimed at them.
Before I go into screen share, I need an opinion on this other piece I did. I've been doing a screen one of the October sketch challenges called Drawoween, and I'm way ahead of it on it. But the one for the 27th was Tween Wolf. So this is what I did for it. And the reason I'm showing it off is I thought I was happy enough with it, and also thought it was a simple enough piece to do some quick last minute Halloween merchandise. And so I'm mostly happy with it, but I worry that I rushed it enough that I might want to redo the line work.
Well, I think that the line work on Tween Wolf, you may want to copy the line work, put it on another layer, and then instead of having it black, be sort of like maybe a lime green or even an off red, because that black line you drew going around the E's is really compressing those letters. And I think that you've got lots of space between the letters that you can really lighten that up. And or you could even go with something between red and blue to kind of tie it into the background.
Hmm.
But other than that, I think it looks great.
Cool. And because those are on a separate layer, I can just see if your hypothesis is correct here. Let's see. There we go.
Last night, I was attending a Knights of Pythian meeting online. If you don't know who the Knights of Pythian, it's one of the more secret societies. There's the Elks, and there's the Masons, and there's all sorts of people. And in the United States, the Knights of Pythian was enacted by an act of Congress shortly after World War II to be sort of like a uniting organization between North and South. So I kind of like that bit of history. More than any reason I'm a member is because there is a local Knights of Pythian building that was built in the 1800s, and it has that old world charm with wood paneling and what have you. It is a 4-story building, possibly 5, because the grand hall itself is actually 2 floors tall. It was, like I said, built in the mid 1800s. And the reason it's still intact and around these days, while other halls have become bowling alleys, is because the order designed the 2 bottom floors to be commercial space, and the rent of those spaces have paid for taxes over the years. So that's what saved the building. And as the other lodges have closed in the Northwest, this building, because it's so big, has become the default archive, taking on a lot of the records, costumes, and paraphernalia of the other chapters. And other chapters come here to do initiation ceremonies and the like. And so I'm involved simply because I love the historical aspect of it. But anyway, I was online with them yesterday and I wanted to screen share, and my screen sharing was not working. Boy, I really went around the block to give that explanation. I'm sorry. So what I'll do is I want to test my screen sharing capabilities. Now I restarted the computer and see if I'm going to have the same issue as I had yesterday. Oh, it's saying that I'm going to have to restart my MacBook Pro. Bugger. I'm going to stop screen sharing. Bill, do you remember how to restart the MacBook Pro?
If you iPad Pro, the 2 buttons, the button on the top and the button on the side, press them in unison. and you'll see a white.
Yeah, it says to slide to power off. Now, how do I start it up again?
Okay, you do that again. Hold it down for about, I don't know, 10 seconds, and with any luck, it'll be, to be quite honest, that one's a little less self-explanatory.
What, just do it again?
Hold, I think you hold it down on the top. If that's not working, hold the two buttons that I said briefly at the
Okay.
same time.
Now, I know that the button on the top is good for starting up. I'll just try holding that one down. Yep. Apparently, just by pushing down at the bottom, at the button at the top, not the button at the bottom. There's no button on the bottom. Oh man, I cannot do tongue twisters today. Okay, let's try this over again. Oh, I think I might know why it wasn't working. I didn't have my Wi-Fi on. That might have been a culprit. My Bluetooth is on, so let's give this another shot. Okay, bingo. And so this is where my puzzle stands right now.
Oh,
It's filling in. I'm just doing the base colors and some of the shading. And I'm trying not to go back too much. Let's see. Been coloring a lot of these details in this building up here. And now I'm trying to decide on the details of this building. And I need to double check my photo references. And yes, I know that flamingos are pink, but there's a reason why these flamingos are yellow. It was part of a project. There were lots of yellow things. I need to color this lamp yellow too. People won't understand it, but that's part of the fun. And everyone says, where's everybody's eyes? Well, I draw the eyes last. It's just that unless I know where the person's going to be looking, I don't like to do the pupils ahead of time. I will do the pupils ahead of time if I know right off the bat where I want things to go. But with so many things being added, like here I have Stowe concentrating on golf, and I just realized he is missing a golf ball.
mhm.
So I'm going to have to resolve that issue. But here are a couple found objects. You can see in Lonnie's hair, there's a snake and an ice cream cone. And other things aren't found objects. They're just weird objects that are part of the image, like the toaster and the iron. And oh, look, something happened here. Ah, there we go. I accidentally drew a line. So since coloring is really boring, I'm going to stop sharing so that people can watch Roger and Kitty. You're off. I have a convention report. There is a sorry, my Procreate crashed on me. Need to reboot it. One of the ways I found for me to re-increase the memory load on my Procreate is to select the file, save a new version of it, and when you save a new version of it, it kind of resets the memory load.
So you're able to use more layers, or
No, it just stops it from crashing again.
uh,
Come on. So a friend of mine, his name's Michael, and Michael King, and he does t-shirts. And he did a show called Halloween Town. It's in it's down by St. Helens. It's an outdoor event. And a couple years ago, back before the pandemic hit, there was a sticker I had with the black cat on it, just the face of a black cat. And he really liked it. And he says, hey, you going to put that on a t-shirt? I said, oh, I wasn't going to do it myself. He says, well, I tell you what, why don't we enter a deal? I'll silk screen them and sell them and give you a cut. I said, that sounds like an excellent licensing opportunity because it means no work for me. And this last weekend, he sold a bunch of them. I got, he sent me a PayPal payment of $120. So, woohoo.
nice.
I think that must be at least a dozen shirts.
Are the shirts on your Facebook page or someplace?
I
where you
use-
see?
If I have the Square store, if you type in Monlex illustration Square, it'll take you to my Square store. I'll see if I can find a link to it and I'll post it in the chat.
Yeah. There
Oh,
you
but
go.
it's, oh, wait a minute. No, it's not on my store. It's at his store. I'm trying to remember what his store is called. Iron Horse. Let me take a look online. I should put a link in.
Yeah, I
just,
can't wait to get my iPad. I'm trying to figure out which version to run the newest animation programs on there. So it's got to be a version that will run IO 15. iOS 15.
all the animation programs I know of are horribly expensive on a monthly subscription. So unless you're doing animation professionally, it may not be worth it. Bill, can you think of any off the counter animation studios that might run on that platform?
Oh, I have been kind of shopping on again, off again, based on the ones that people talk about, and I've seen a handful of. They don't appear to be those things, but they appear to be reasonable facsimiles. But I didn't look long enough to make a note of them. But if you're doing your research, cross-reference whatever animation software you're thinking of with IO9.
IO9? That's
Or-
far back.
Oh, it's a second. Oh, iOS, I mean.
iOS 9,
No, he means to say iOS.
right? And I want to get the newest Apple-like animation one that just came out, give or take, 6 months ago.
Right.
But they only plan iOS 15.
So what system are you running then?
I'll run them on, that's what I mean, on iPad of iOS 15.
Oh, but you're on an iPad.
Right. What were you guys talking about?
Ones that work on the desktop.
Oh,
Oh.
I was talking about the ones for the iPad.
Okay, so you're talking about the one for the iPad then.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll just do it for the first 6 months as a hobby and show you guys as I draw with it, and do my color work and so forth,
Okay, so I'm sharing to the screen, and this is on Etsy right now. This is the Black Cat T-shirt.
Oh,
was
that
talking-
one. Okay.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was just putting this black cat on a skateboard for somebody as part of this cat came off a Reanimator poster I designed. And somebody was asking about a movie review I did for it was a skateboard movie called The Lords of Dogtown. That's it. Anyway, I'll go ahead and put this link into the chat.
Now, is that $23 plus tax, or is that?
I don't know. I haven't bought it off there.
Oh, Wonder
It's
what the-
it could be $23 total, or it could be $23 plus shipping and handling. So you'll have to, see what it looks like when it goes into the shopping cart.
shopping cart, yeah. Okay.
But it's a lovely little beastie, and so we're getting the shot, Roger, of your lamp.
That's too bright?
Is that your drawing table? It's just a lamp with some plexiglass?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's got the counterweight of my computer right there. So it doesn't fall in my lap and so forth.
So what was everybody else doing this weekend?
Ooh.
Katie, were you doing anything?
No, we were so busy the last couple of weeks. We just relaxed. It's like the last weekend. Oh, I decorated my yard. I don't know if you saw my pictures on
Facebook, but I was having for the last month I've been having a lot of side effects to one of the neurological medications they put me on. See, I can even talk. And so they reduced my dosage significantly. And so I had went from like having trouble, like if I moved my muscles too much, it felt like someone was beating me with a baseball bat, to, oh my God, I finally have no pain in my muscles. And that was my very first day not having pain. And I just like went crazy because it was driving me nuts not having my yard decorated. Because this is like, as Tim explained it to our neighbors, Halloween is our Christmas. And so, but now, since one of our neighbors observed that because we decorated our yard so flamboyantly last year compared to what this neighborhood is used to, more people on our street and on our little block in the subdivision are all kind of like going all out and having more Halloween decorations. So it's really cool.
So what is your theme?
So we have a devil coming up out of the ground. The Grim Reaper is beside him. These are blow ups. And then we have a ghost carriage full of ghosts coming to get you. I was worried that all of the little kids in our neighborhood would be freaked out, but they love it. And then we have these zombies coming up out of the graves. We have to go look for some gravestones. Currently, we only have one zombie set up, but we actually have several more. And then I have a totally different setup at my door. And then on the other side of our yard, I have my magical skeleton unicorn. And then I'm going to put little solar lamps that are jack-o'-lanterns, ghosts, and skulls over there. So it's not tacky yet, but I would say by October 31st, I will hit full on tackiness by the time I get everything put in the yard. But I'm excited.
So, how tall are the zombies? Are they life size?
No, the zombies are more like a small child, but my Grim Reaper is 12 foot tall. So, yeah, he's huge. And then,
I've seen online a big skeleton that's about 20 feet tall.
yeah, that's out of my price range.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I want to spend $400 on it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Generally I find most of their stuff tacky, but there's a spirit store 2 blocks away from me right now, so I've been occasionally browsing.
But yeah, it's just it's a fun. It's something that's been traditionally in my family. Like my grandmother loved Halloween, and so it's just something we all enjoy and share a love for. So I just like, anyone with Christmas or Thanksgiving, that's my family.
That is very cool.
I'm trying to think if we watched any movies or television this weekend that was interesting. We did watch Day of the Dead, the first episode of that. It just came out. It's a new sci-fi series. And we did watch that. It was fun in a sci-fi channel sort of way. And I think when you go in, you have to go in with sci-fi level expectations, but Battlestar was on a completely different level than some of the other stuff that we've seen sci-fi put out. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Now, I always think that just like they remade Battlestar Galactica to be kind of dark and gritty with a really interesting storyline, I would love to see the same treatment done to I Dream of Jeannie.
Ooh, that's interesting. What a unique perspective. I would not have even, like, she's like a traditional genie where you get one wish and then
Well, initially, when they launched the series, they were going to make it so that, okay, he lands down, and he thinks he's having hallucination. and that she's completely in his mind. And so he's trying to hide this fact so that he can still be an astronaut, but he's suffering these massive hallucinations. And
Ooh.
and whether or not the things that are going on around him are, imagine something weird happens and he's disassociated from it. And it's actually, maybe it's something that he actually did, and he's just, pretending that it's something he had nothing to do with. And people are going, well, that's kind of odd, but not, totally explainable. If, and that would explain why the one psychiatrist is constantly after him, and then you'd have that interesting, the best friend who's sort of like a clown in the first series is, maybe he be, more serious in trying to help his friend out. And then you have all the other, every aspect of Genie could be so over the top and just crazy imaginative with the special effects that we have available to us now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're left wondering, okay, is he really nuts, or is this a real genie like in the show, or is this, should this, car keys be taken away from this guy? And that's the take I would love to see happen to it.
Yeah.
But
No,
it became really obvious as the show went live that I Dream of Genie was really going to be more about Genie than it was about the Major, and I would love to see it refocused and be all about the Major again.
yeah. I'm sort of reminded of in Scrubs, they originally were planning the janitor to be a figment of JD's imagination. And then apparently they chickened out on that.
Trying to think of anything else we watched this weekend. I know there was something I watched that I was going to say something about today, but I cannot.
I watched something called War of Ghosts
Ooh.
on Netflix. It's set in World War II about this squad of 5 men being assigned to this mansion in the middle of nowhere. And of course, spooky things happen.
Oh, and speaking of Dawn of the Dead, I've been slowly but surely going through the original series
Uh-huh.
and wondering if the fourth and after the original 3, if the other 3 are worth it.
The one in the high rise was not my favorite. The one on the island is a little it's okay. And then the one where the kid has the camcorder, I think it's called Diary of the Dead.
Yes.
It's not too bad either. I mean, I don't feel like they're I don't feel like I mean they're dramatic, but they're not dramatic in stating, like, because I mean, like, even though he denies it, let's be honest, Romero was no dummy. Like, he made a lot of political statements in his work when he first started out. And so those first 3 movies, capitalism, the Cold War, civil rights, yeah, you don't get that in the next 3 movies.
Why was your little dog going nuts so?
Oh, my stepdaughter came home.
Oh,
Yeah. She is home from work. And so they greeted her. They greet her like she's an intruder, but it's actually a greeting of love, I guess. That's how they greet everyone.
don't mind him gnawing on your ankles. He loves you.
Well, the one that you hear that's most vicious is actually kind of like her dog. And it's like he's cussing her out for leaving the house. Like he's scolding her. He scolds everyone for leaving him. He's a very neurotic little dog, but it's okay. And he does it every day. My aunt was just here, and my mom, which is one of the reasons why I did not do anything this weekend, because they're very active women to be older than me. And I was very exhausted. But my aunt is the only person that dog has never barked at in his entire life, and he's 9. So I don't really know what was going on. And my aunt doesn't have pets. She's not like a pet person.
Well, maybe that's why.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's hard to say. I mean, I used to think I was fun. I got along with animals very well until I encountered a friend's Shiba Inu, who I am one of the 2 people on her hit list.
Did you have to dog sit that Shiba Inu?
Yes, I did. It was very stressful. The worst part was one time I accidentally let her out of the house, and coaxing her back in with food wasn't the hard part. The hard part was getting behind her to close the door after. So I try not to think badly of Minako, but I will admit that she gets on my nerves. But I will say that I did not start it.
You didn't start it.
Dog started it.
Well, the owners think that she blamed the first time I had to dog sit for her. They think that she may blame me for being the reason that they were out of the house for the weekend.
I could, yeah.
Well, that was the first time they were ever out of the house?
Well, with the dog.
I mean, without the dog.
Right.
The first time they leave the dog alone and they put you there instead. Yeah, I could see where
Somebody was going to feel her wrath.
I mean, I'm told Shibas are very standoffish, one person dogs as a rule, but she's generally good with wanting to meet everybody otherwise.
Our big concern with our dogs is, except for our really huge, well, our 2 Chihuahuas would go home with anyone. They are just so sweet and they love people and attention. So that's our big concern with them. The other one, I'm more worried someone would throw him in a closet and forget that they put him in there, except he would just howl and howl until someone. But Haley, I used to live alone, and one time someone decided that they thought they were going to come in my backyard, and Haley, who I had never seen be, cross with anyone, almost took the man's nose off. And I just barely saw him. Like I saw the top of the hat as the person went back over the fence. And but then the man had the nerve to come to my front door and then yell at me about how I have a dangerous dog in my backyard and don't have a sign. But he was not welcome in my backyard. And I just told him, I was like, you're welcome to call animal control and tell them that you were trying to trespass on my property and my dog tried to bite you.
Yeah.
So he kind of left and I didn't hear anything else about it again.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know any backyards without anything not resembling a fence.
Yeah, it's like, you know, if he was like the water guy or whatever, and my dog bit him and I didn't have a sign or a warning, okay, but you're a stranger trying to climb over my fence. I don't know how I don't know how I'm supposed to feel bad about that my dog protected her yard, that you weren't welcome in. Elizabeth
wanna-
is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
What did you say about Elizabeth? Go right ahead.
I was just gonna say she has a new Kickstarter out. I'm surprised she's not here tonight. Just FYI. It's she wrote a short story in a Kickstarter called 99 Tiny Terrors. They're flash fiction. That's all I was gonna say. Sorry.
Oh, and how's it doing on Kickstarter? She just launched it.
I think it launched today, and they have a $4,000 goal, and I think they were at $1,400 the last time I checked. So not bad. Okay, before I interrupted you, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, what was I going to say? Oh, I went on a fishing trip.
Yes,
Cool.
you
I was going
did.
to ask how that went.
Oh, we got rained out.
Oh
Yeah, we just stayed in the cabin because by rained out, I mean the rain was coming down so much that it was muddying the water. And, the fish can't see your bait. They can't take your bait. And also, there was an increased water level rise, and that can be dangerous. And there was also wind, and that would make it difficult for the guides. The guides have these rowboats, basically. And you have the guide sitting in the middle, often with a rod, and then a person at either end. So, and then sometimes you would fit another person on the boat if you had to. It's a little tight, but I've done it before. But you can, just we were going to be 3 or 4 people on a boat, and having someone in rapid water while, the river bank was 5 feet up higher than normal. It's just a no-go situation.
yeah.
So I had my cousin and his son were fishing from the bank where a clear water river met with the main river. And so fish were going from the muddy river into the clear water. And they managed to catch 2 fish, but for the most part, all the fish were trying to do was breathe that day, so. And it rained both days, so kind of went up. That's the way it goes. But it was a good excuse to hang out with my siblings. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Well, the point of these things anyhow, right?
Yes. The last time we knew it was going to get washed out like that, we just didn't even go to the cabin. But this year we had to try it because my Uncle Bill came along, and both he and my dad are 92 years old. So they want to take advantage of as much fishing time as is possible in their final years. So if there was going to be a window, these old codgers were going to go for it. Of course, somebody has to carry them down and put them in the boat and
Mhm.
make sure they don't fall in. And
Maybe that's why my mother and my aunt had no problem blowing so much money at the casino. It's because they love going to the casino and they're like, ah, life's short.
That's
Roll the dice again.
the casino.
Oh, man. They forfeited going. They didn't want to go to the Space Needle. I did get them to Mount Rainier, but I went to the Emerald Queen twice and to the Muckleshoot Casino on their last day. And I finally had to say, ladies, we're going to the hotel so you can get on your plane at a decent hour, or I'm leaving you. And that was at 1 o'clock in the morning.
mm,
Oh, geez, they were there till 1 a.m.
Yeah, and their flight was at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was like, what are we in college? Let's go to bed.
oh, see what you
They
think.
weren't wasting time with the slots, were they? Or
Oh, they love the slots. That's what they wanted to play the whole time. And not even caring that they were losing money. It was just, they loved playing slots.
Okay.
I don't know.
but playing slots is like playing a video game now. You can just do that on the internet.
Yeah,
The
but
lo- the
it's
logic.
experience.
Okay. See what you all think here.
Bill, did you rearrange your desk or has it always been over there?
Well, my drawing table's here, and so I frequently treat the iPad like it's a piece of paper when I'm flat out
Oh, okay.
drawing it. I mean, yes, I can draw facing the camera, but as far as the room for my arm is concerned. Okay. There. I'm pretty pleased with it so far.
Oh, that's looking pretty good.
One thing I'm thinking about is rather than inking this whole crowd and then give myself a headache coloring them, is to paint that area so that they provide a soft focus with the inked central characters.
What I would consider doing is having sort of like one soft color
Mm-hmm.
and then another color just slightly darker, and maybe do like a little a little shadow brush on one side and a little highlight brush on the other side, or just highlight it so like you can have them more highlighted towards the characters, and as you fade away from them, they're less highlighted and they blend into the background.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say definitely don't do a lot of coloring.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how you're doing the crowd, just the tops of them with the bottoms of them fading away.
Right.
The guy holding the glass, the top of his hand, the line on the top is so thick, it looks weird.
The one with the lion mask?
Yes.
Okay, that's an easy fix.
Whenever I see a variation from the thick, thin lines, it starts to wig me out. I think that having thin lines in the foreground and thicker lines up close is a really good idea. So I would add the lines that you have going on the woman are pretty good. And I would make sure that the other lines on the other figures were at least that thick, like on her shoulder and on her back, at least on the outlines to differentiate them from the background. And I know it's not like Illustrator where you can just go in, click and increase the line width, or like, I wish there was a feature in Procreate, like in Illustrator, where you can select the line and tell it to extend out an extra pixel. But I've yet to find that control.
Is that better?
Yes, that is better. Katie, do you know the name of Elizabeth's Kickstarter so we can look it up?
It's called 99 Tiny Terrors.
99 Tiny Terrors.
So it looks like she is a contributing author, but even as a contributing author, if people support it, she's a really good writer. So
Oh, so you think it might be an anthology then?
yeah, looks like it.
So Thursday at the Grand Cinemas, they're going to be showing the new Dune and RR and well, it's going to be running at the Grand Cinemas, but during the premiere at 7, R.R. Anderson is going to be selling prints that he's made for the event from our Weird Elephant series. And then if you don't make it then you can always buy one of his prints if there's any left. When on Friday, I'm selling prints at the 10 o'clock showing of The Thing, the John Carpenter remake, not the original and not the prequel. So
Yeah, I'm torn. I mean, I've been really psyched for the new Dune, but at the same time, can't quite shake the fear of going into a room of a theater with more than 10 people in it.
well, I haven't had any problem going into the theater. I've been wearing my masks. And but the last time I was in the theater, they were still doing distancing, where people were set up in a diamond. Your party was a diamond, 6 feet away from the other party, and they were limiting.
Yeah, because I definitely, if there's any film that I'm going to shell out IMAX money for, it is definitely Dune.
That's what I would have figured.
Did they shoot in 3D by chance?
I had not heard 3D, but they definitely shot it for IMAX.
I will have to let my friend John know so that he can go. There's an IMAX theater in Kent. That's the closest one that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, I generally avoid 3D. With handful of times it works for me, it gives me serious eye strain.
Have you've been to the theater since the pandemic started, haven't you, Bill?
Yeah, but only with at matinees where the place is virtually empty.
Well, folks, it's hard to imagine, but yet another epic sketch time has come and gone. I want to thank Roger, Katie, and Bill for joining me today on this wonderful Tuesday. We'll be meeting here again next Tuesday. And what day is that on the calendar?
That is the 26th.
The 26th. Awesome. I will see you guys all on the 26th, or you can meet up online for Freelance Fandango, which is being held on Sundays from 10 to 12. You can sign up for that via Eventbrite or contact Bill or James Stowe for contact information. Or you can meet in person at Freelance Fandangos on Mondays. Bill, this isn't a guild sponsor event, but are there any guild activities happening this week?
Ooh. Nothing that I'm remembering at the moment. Wait a minute. I'd have to double check, but I
asked this question of you.
I know. There's a sticker event coming up, but I'm not.
Well, if you want to find out about guild events, you can go to the look for the Graphic Artists Guild on Eventbrite, and there should be a whole bunch of events. They usually have 1 or 2 a week, and most of them are free to everybody. They occasionally have webinars that members get into for free, and that the other folks have to pay to get into. I see Bill still looking.
Right. It looks like it's pretty clear. The only thing this week is something called Bad Design, Really Bad Design.
Oh. Well, that sounds interesting.
Wait a minute.
like I said, folks, check that out on Eventbrite. And thank you all for watching Epic Sketch Time.